Well, if you're having girl problems up above you, son, I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mic. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah, signaling their pick on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where Sasquatch Shills so you don't have to. The whole purpose of this show is to promote channels that are putting in the work. They're doing the stuff in, day out, whether it's the editing, the music, the backdrop sounds, whatever it is that they're doing the work on YouTube and they're doing that thing. And that's really the most important part of the people that I choose to highlight, right? There are two ways to end up on this show. One, a previous guest that has done the show points out your channel specifically and says, why don't you interview this man, this woman, this seamstress, or whatever it is they do? And I get some of my most interesting content out of these. These are some of my favorites. Or you can just be dedicated to the craft. And I will eventually find your channel because Sasquatch is everywhere. So here's who we got tonight. One, Mr. Jack Talcott, who has one of the more interesting takes of anyone on YouTube that I've seen. Now, whether you like him, love him, hate him, or have a disparaging type of relationship where y'all just throw stuff at each other over a fence, I don't care. That's not my call. We're here to discuss YouTube, and that's where I'm going to keep it. Now, chat, my mods have been warned. So y'all have fun, but keep it clean. No weapons, and try to keep the elbows inside the vehicle at all times. Welcome to the show, Jack. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm feeling blessed, and I'm showing up as an amateur. Sorry about that delay. I had a tab running in the back. I feel honored, brother. Thank you.
Don't go too far down that road. I'm a guy pretending to be a mythical creature, pretending to be a guy on YouTube. How seriously are you going to take this? That's totally up to you. But we're going to let you go ahead and tell everybody what the name of your channel is, how to find you, who you are, and why you're doing what you're doing. Because I find it difficult to tell people what it is that you're doing that I personally have witnessed you do. And then take me seriously about it. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. I'm going to talk to him, see if I can interview him. And so here we are, right? So take it away, brother.
Thank you. Yes, I am Jack Talcott, found under the same name online, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter's Talcott Jack. But regardless, I'm online. I've been doing this for a little while. The purpose of what I do, it is for love and peace. I'm a man of today who found myself on a very interesting life path that brought me to believe that the things I'd learned could be helpful for others. And what I've learned is truly how to live freely without fears and worries about the governments or the economics or the wars and depression. And yet that's kind of the topic I talk about all the time, is I think that we have the opportunity to bring peace to the world and bring some dramatic reforms.
You're good. No, continue by all means.
Okay. Yeah,
I have to push one button at a time. If I get too quick with it, it kind of fruits up. And so we're going to do it slow.
Well, part of this too, I spent a life like many others. I worked hard. I believed in the right things. I thought. I donated money. I saved for retirement. And I thought things were kind of as good as they could be. But along my life development as an adult, I spent time with union as a union employee. I became active with the union, and then not just my union, but
I'm sorry, bud. I can't control what you do when I'm not around. And that union habit, that's one of those things kind of hard to kick once you get involved. I mean, it kind of gets into you and amongst you, and it's kind of hard to scrape off. Go ahead, bro.
That's what I found. Actually, it was the investments of the union. The union helped me learn how to be a better advocate, how to be a better leader. And so the union helped me become a better person. But in my life, I carried around the heart of an activist. And so I got to play that role in a few different ways. And then my life started changing in 2018 before I came online, before I ventured online. And as my life was changing, I started learning a whole bunch of different things, primarily about self-development, about mental, physical, and emotional health. I studied those things. And so then I figure, all right, take the heart of an activist and the education of a coach, put those things together. That's the path for me. I want to help inspire, encourage, and motivate other people to dream bigger for their own lives so that we can find a way together. If everyone's got a goal where they're setting out to change the world and make the world a better place, if we're all heading in that direction, we can just meet at the ending. It'll be great.
Okay. Wouldn't we all have to agree on that tantamount ending? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So you're sitting around one afternoon and you decide to start a YouTube channel. And I'm
Yeah.
not talking about any previous channels that may have existed, but this channel, this channel was a conscious decision on your part. And what is the essential nugget of this channel? What does it promote as a brand other than yourself? What is the overarching design on the channel?
Love. Conscious love, intentional love, overcoming limitations and old paradigms. That's what I'm hoping to get across. But I tend to confuse a lot of people, which Caucasian says, this is exactly what I was saying. I am so grateful to cross paths with you because of what you've learned.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about me, man. This is all about you.
All right.
No, dude, it's fine. What are you getting at?
Skill sets, man. You got different skill sets, different connections than I do.
And different motivations.
And
My motivations are purely my own. They are until you've been backstage with me on a Sasquatch Shills, you don't really get to see why I do the things I do. It's very unlike other channels, and the type of admixture that takes place here is very different from most debates or other promotional type shows, because in the After Dark, I'm going to drop the link and previous guests can come up and join us, right? Okay, so this video here is your most viewed video that I could find publicly available in your catalog. Okay. Is there anything in this particular video that you want to discuss or you want to tell people about? Or do you want to just move on to the rest of what we're doing?
Do you remember what's the stream title?
The title of this one, is To Be a Boss or a Leader, open panel. This one was uploaded, hold on, a year ago, which could be as much as a year and 3 weeks ago. So
Sure.
yeah. I haven't sat and watched this whole thing, but I kind of skedaddled through it here, there, and everywhere. And y'all are all over the place. I mean, this particular batch of people is hard to follow on their own, right? So individually, I'm completely lost on what's going on here. And I don't know that if I watched the whole thing, it would help. Right.
I agree.
This is the way the show goes. Your most popular video is played while you discuss whatever you'd like to.
I'm not sure why that one stood out. The boss or leader, that is something that that's part of the messages that I hope to carry. We live in a world of people playing as bosses, and then a bunch of other people convincing themselves they have to obey. And what we're lacking in this world is leadership. That's what I've been studying for myself.
Well, leadership's a funny thing. Leadership, not something you can demand. It's not like, I mean, you don't demand leadership from someone unless you believe they can be a leader in the first place, because you only ask things of people that they can do. So you wouldn't want to find a weak man who has no leadership potential and has no desire to do so, and then give them, an order, go be a leader and lead these people. And it might work. It has worked in the past, but that's not a winning strategy. Winning strategy is go find you a type A type dude and just hook the cart to him and let him wander with the carrot in front of him. You don't beat those, you reward them, or at least make them think they're going to get a reward. Welcome to the carnival of YouTube, people.
What you were describing is one of my criticisms of the world we live in, the way that promotions are made in many corporations, not necessarily leadership, just, the favorite or whatever.
Think it through, bro. You don't want leadership in a corporation. You want a drone that'll follow orders from the top. And so you don't promote based on leadership. You promote based on ancillary productivity, not necessarily doing their job, but the job they actually do when they're at the company. So you say you've got a secretary. She can't file for shit, can't type, can't even send an email for nothing. She's really hot, makes great coffee. The great coffee by itself is a good reason to keep her as a secretary, because I would rather have good coffee and do my own freaking paperwork, right? That way I know it's right. So it's the coffee. And it's really hard for men to get angry at a really hot chick. And so if she's out front, it immediately tones down all conversations with no effort on the part of the company. So psychology also counts in.
This is one of the things I love about you is your perspective. It is different than most, at least from what I've seen.
You're not the first one to point that one out. I think that's why I have a channel.
Hey, regarding this video though, who knows why it got popular? It could have been because the
I think it was
guest
the title.
or the energy.
I believe it was the title. And I think when you actually uploaded it at the time, that was right around the time I found your channel the first time, because I kind of breezed in, watched a little bit of your stuff, and I think YouTube unsubscribed me. But I looked up like 2 or 3 months later and was on a panel with you on Flow States. And I was like, I'm subscribed to that guy. Like, where's his channel? What was he doing? And I scrolled back through and couldn't find you and asked you for your link. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So you're standing on a premise of love, right? This is your foundation, that you're the rock you're gonna lag your entire foundational net worth on, essentially. That's admirable as a grape, man. That is just as noble as a grape. How do you think people do things willingly, or are they forced to do these things?
We all do what we want, but the mind will be very convincing and say that we do things because we have to, because others made us.
I believe that might be a victimhood mentality, where you blame others for the decisions you made, right?
Yep.
You see, it's nobody's fault but my own that I didn't go to college. I made the decisions that led to that particular situation. That whole situation blew out of proportion because I did not handle it well. So while it was a minor issue, it turned into a major stumbling block in my life. How do you come back from situations like that? I mean, you're trying to move forward through all of this, and the only way I can see is to pay attention to the everlasting now. Planning for the future is fine. Learning from the past is acceptable, beneficial even. Learning from other people's mistakes is golden, right? If you can't do that, I'm not going to hire you in the first place, if I can help it. But I think from a highly capitalistic point of view, where people do things based either on merit, or it comes down to earnings, whether it's social, physical, or actual wealth, we can even discuss clout on this level, because that's essentially what YouTube deals in, is clout. It's the exchange of exposure back and forth, so much so that it almost sounds like a virus when you discuss it. It makes you feel dirty a little bit, don't it?
When you put it that way, a little. It's sharing of attention. I don't know. I kind of lost track there.
So do you believe that there is a competition structure for this type of content? What I'm asking is, do you feel like there's competition with what you're doing?
I found that there seems to be many who are competing with me and they don't know what they're doing.
Are they competing or just in opposition? Because someone who is in opposition merely disagrees and will say so, but someone who competes may actually take resources from you through their competition, and that's a little different.
I'd say I'm facing both. I've found a lot of resistance and confusion to my efforts.
But do you consider it competition, is what I'm asking? Are there other channels out there that do something similar, or that you interact with, that you view as being not oppositional, but merely like maybe equals? I
There's,
guess.
I see peers. There's many
Peers.
peers.
Thank you. That's a perfect word. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Peers.
Yeah. With what I'm doing, the ones that I find that I resonate with, it's not a competition. I actually hope to promote some of their work, and eventually, if they meet, hopefully they'll do the same.
Right. Right. I came across a channel a while back called Armed AAP, Armed American Patriot. He's been through half a dozen channels since then, but he has this promotional concept from beekeeping. Apparently he used to keep bees, and he learned everything you could possibly know about bees, and he uses a lot of bee knowledge in his freaking channel, and it's kind of represented by the idea of cross-pollination. We're not actually in competition. I cannot do what you do. I could say exactly the same words in exactly the same way, put on a perfect Jack Talcott impression. And while it would get a lot of views and people would laugh at it, it would not have the same message. The reasons, the motivations, the desires, the design, everything behind it would be different. And so while it might be offensive to you, other people would find it entertaining, right? And then there in that lies a little bit of value, I think. Right.
Mhm.
Now, the same thing, like the clip of Flow State at the end of the intro saying, lick the sushi off this stick. Dude, I've been watching him for like over a year and a half now, just waiting for the perfect clip to put in my intro because it's a gorgeous thing. It is a little bit of editing, and you can have a whole show based around it. Blue unicorn. You're not allowed to eat the rich, at least not today. Ask me again tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't want to eat the rich, but we
Let me
want
ask
the
you
rich
a question.
to feed the poor.
If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you had a dog and you came across a neighbor and y'all are the last two people on earth as far as you can tell, and you're starving. The neighbor suggests you kill the dog and eat it, and the dog suggests you kill the neighbor and eat him. Which one are you going to do?
I'll question myself for listening to a dog.
Okay, well, okay, I'll give you that one, but you know what the dog's thinking.
I'm
I know, it's a
vegan.
bit of an absurd question.
I'm vegan. I'm not going to murder for.
So we're not murdering the dog or the person. So they
No.
both kill you, and then they go find other neighbors, right? Wait, here's my point with it, though. I'm going to kill the neighbor, and me and the dog are going to eat well because the dog can help me find more neighbors. That neighbor is only going to eat more. And then demand more food when we finish eating the dog. But the dog can help me find more food. I'm just saying it's a really cutthroat business, bro. Like the whole YouTube sphere thing. None of us actually know each other. And yet we're all trying to put forth a honest and, direct concept. We all have our narrative. We all have our ideals that we're pushing. Is that wrong?
I think everything comes down to intentions. I think there's a lot of people online and offline. They don't actually have clear intentions on why they're doing what they're doing. People do things.
Yes, sir. You have just hit the nail on the head. I have no idea why people do the things they do, but it is hilarious every time I look at it.
This is what I realized. Those without conscious minds, they're living subconsciously, reactive and in memory and imagination. They're trapped in their heads, not in reality. I used to live that way.
Are you talking about NPCs or do you have a particular do you call them something in particular? You've had to have named them at some point in time. My brother called them Fruit Loops.
I'm polite. I call them confused.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying everybody has personal words they use to kind of define a whole sector without having to go through the whole, well, like the knitters are knitters. This is an entire section of YouTube that are a bunch of old ladies and young men who have decided to knit on YouTube for whatever reason. And I've been trying to get an interview with some of these people for like 2 years. They're completely not interested.
They just want to knit.
Okay, let me ask you this then. When you go to the bathroom and sit down on the pot, and you pull out your cell phone and go to whoever's hot today, whatever it is, who do you watch? What channels does Jack watch?
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah, specifically YouTube. I'm not after the rest of your life.
My favorites are John St. Julian and Aaron Abke.
Might have to spell some of that shit, dude. I'm from Georgia.
Aaron Abke, Abke. He's a teacher in the Course of Miracles, if you've ever heard of that.
Ooh. I've heard of, I think I might have read the freaking title somewhere, but I don't know where. You've actually named a book I haven't read, which, I mean, I'm not a specialist. I'm a generalist in all things that I can think of to look into. And you've managed to worm your way into a little corner of the internet that I'm unfamiliar with. So I'm here to learn.
This is why our paths crossed. I'm telling you, my friend. That A Course in Miracles, I came across it a few years ago, and it's a very interesting read. I went to a local book study for it too here, but hey, what Aaron does and what John St. Julian does, they talk about the mystical aspects of life, the unity of spirituality, and the purpose of love. So those guys, those are people who I've learned quite a bit from, but there's a bunch I follow. We live in it, not to keep going, but this is the thing I finally woke up and realized. Holy shit, we live in an age of knowledge.
Snark and Sass says we live in the future. Take advantage of it.
We do.
She's currently right now having a birthday party for herself on StreamYard with 10 of her favorite friends from YouTube. And it's amazing. She's doing it backstage. They're getting hammered. It's absolutely hilarious. I was over there right before I came over here. And if you don't know Snark and Sass, that's your fault, not mine.
Not yet. But this life we're living, not to disclose, but I think it was part of the conversation earlier. The lifetime we lived in where Blockbuster was a reality, right? And before the internet age, before the .com growth, we're living at a time where we have access to so much knowledge. There is no reason to deny each other's children and education. And then when you start thinking about that, there's really no reason to deny each other health care or proper nutrition, stuff like that. I think the world is confused. That goes back to what do you call them? We live in a world of confusion.
I don't disagree with you on that. There's a lot of very confused people in the world, and a lot of them seem to get on TV, and the rest of them get on YouTube. All right, so I've got a bit I'm fixing to do, right? But I want to double check and make sure I got the right video. Is this your first publicly available upload?
It looks like one of the early ones.
Okay, well, publicly available. That means if you put anything unlisted or private or behind a paywall or anything like that, I wouldn't have access to it. Actually, maybe. Oh my God. After we do this bit, I'm going to go through chat and say hey to everybody. But we've got a star in chat, y'all. Oh, Woofy has arrived. You the Genesis video, right? I went to school with him. He's an asshole. So let me do the bit. I'm real good at this. I'm a professional. Y'all just stick around. You'll be impressed because it's terrible editing, badly done, and is a cheeky gimmick.
You don't want cars?
Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
Because I'm a YouTube paleontologist and I went and dug up your oldest video available. Welcome to the show. All right. So at this point, we're going to go through and do a little ditty on chat. They've had enough time to get rolling real good. So I got this thing that I do. And unfortunately, it takes forever to get back through chat when they're active. And chat is active. Ooh. 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 Right. Come on. I know Scotty Waddles was the first person in here. So Scotty Waddles, you get the gold. There you are. Right. Fraser Crane gets the silver. And I think he might have some advice on how I can improve my channel. That's what he seemed to be saying. And let's see. Wattlife. Yeah, Wattlife gets the bronze. So I appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all are extra special in my heart. Some of these people were here hours, days before it started. They popped in and started chatting. So I love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister. Now we have a veritable who's who of the panelverse over here in chat currently. We've got just Margot, right? She's in here. We have Station 33, and I think we might all know who that is. But if you don't come in under your real name, I can't call you by your real name, can I? Swiss Miss, who is going to be moderating the chat this evening. She is she's not a managing moderator. AJOT is, but she was late, so we'll say hey to her later in the chat. Smoking Auditor is another one of our moderators. Say hey to him on your way in because he's super nice. That dude's nicer than Jack. And that's nothing against you, man. This dude, I don't know how he's so nice. He's from Ohio. He came on as a guest. He talked to me. We had a lovely conversation. It was absolutely amazing. Okay. Arpol, welcome in, bud. I've heard about you. I don't think we've ever actually met, or if we have, you might have been like, StreamYard masked with a different name because some people put names on people. I don't know. We'll see. The Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What is up, bud? This is one of my favorite parts of the show because there's always new people that we haven't seen before. That which is good to see you. NPC the game. I think the three of us need to get together and have us a conversation because apparently there's some drama or something. We could probably get some views out of it. And if somebody's monetized anywhere, they might be able to make money somewhere. Right. We got Rebecca Joe, what's up? Chuck in Tennessee has joined the chat. We got Prairie. Hey, check it out. You got to suck the sushi off this stick because Flow State's here now. He gets off his strike in like 6 hours or something like that. Maybe 12. I don't know. It's real soon. Real soon. Welcome in, Michelle. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. Carpenter's Journey. This guy emailed me a couple of weeks ago, right? And when he emailed me under his real name. And I was like, I thought I recognized the name. And he just asked me some basic YouTube questions. So I answered them. And then proved to me that I had no idea who I was talking to. And I had to sit there for like an hour and try to figure out how to send this guy an email that doesn't make me seem like an asshole when I'm clearly being an asshole. So sorry, but that happens sometimes. Oh, we got El Perro, who was actually part of the last video we had up as a one weird wizard. And everyone called him Word Wizard, which is a bit of a misnomer, and I'm going to hold you to that one there, Hucklebus. Come at me. What say, Lou? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. which is we got pretty much everybody. The Sanity Machine has showed up. Anarchy Television, welcome to the show, bud. Appreciate you coming through. Ajot has finally arrived in the building, and we will now say hey to her. Y'all are now permitted to speak to Ajot. Because you got to keep control of your flock, right? Or is that why we have dogs? You know, I say YouTube's a carnival. We got Izzy Sky. Welcome in, bud. Kane's Catharsis. And the reason I say YouTube's a carnival is because there's just about every type of personality you can imagine at a carnival. Whether you're behind the booth or one of the walking or whatever, if you're Mark or however that works. But you can pretty much sum up all of YouTube. Every single channel you come across as some level of carnival game, because the house is always crooked since we have control over our own channels. I think we got most everybody in chat. When I catch up to the bottom, if you chat, I'll freaking chat you out. It's part of the show. Usually don't have this many people in here, so go with it. Emperor Dave, yeah, good to see you. So this video, very earliest one I can find, it's 2 minutes 50 seconds long. Is it too cringe worthy to watch it with you?
I like hearing my voice. I don't remember what I said.
I talk a lot. Sometimes I have to tune myself out. I hear you, bud.
Although I do find I think I sound better sped up. I can't stand listening to myself at regular speed, but whatever you think.
All right, bud.
Hello, my brothers and sisters.
See if we can make this happen. Oh, this is before you discovered microphones.
An inspirational and motivational speaker. Also a certified life.
This is terribly low. There's no way anybody over there is going to hear it at all. So we'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, so, like I said, they invented this thing called a microphone years after this, and he discovered it. And once he discovered it, his life began. So you found a microphone, and you decided to go on. What is this? Is this life coaching? Is this a ministry? Is it? I mean, what is it?
It started out as a number of things.
Sure.
I use my channel kind of as it's evidence of me. I share my story, so it's kind of a vlog.
Wait, hold on. Evidence of you. No, I get this. No, that makes sense to me. I dig it. You don't really have to. You can explain it to everyone else, but I think I get it.
You get it. Well, I use it kind of as a vlog. I share my story, and I've shared a bunch of the things I've been facing and the things I've been learning. But then the other part of it is my hope is my story and the things I've been learning. I hope people can find value in that and, run with some of the lessons. Back to what you were saying earlier, we got to learn from each other.
Absolutely. See, that's one of the things I look for if I'm working with anyone. I watch them closely and try to determine whether they're the type of people who think in layers or the type of people that just do things. And if you're the type of person that just does things, you might be useful in my life, but there's no reason to put a whole lot of energy into it because you're going to do whatever it is you do in the first place. I can't stop you. I wouldn't want to stop you. It's not my design. I don't care. So when you come across someone who thinks in layers, they may also appear to be one of those just doers, but if you turn them loose to do a little more, they'll become inventive. And these guys are really useful if you can find them, right? So I don't know. I'm trying to get a bunch of inventive people together, and maybe one day we'll do a Kids in the Hall or a freaking Whose Line Is It Anyway or something where it's just a bunch of different YouTubers from a bunch of different spheres just doing a thing. And I don't care what it is. I just want to be involved.
I think that would be great.
Encouragement. I like that. Always like encouragement. I even like empty encouragement. And a lot of people want to give short shrift to the trolls that come in and say things so ironically that it almost sounds like a compliment. You know, that backhanded South Georgia, bless your heart type of stuff. Those people who think I don't speak Georgia. It's funny to me. How do you deal with that level of attention on the most minuscule of details? I like the message, but even Jesus got nailed to a cross. So how do we deal with this concept?
That's
a dangerous one. I know, bro.
Well, here's the crazy thing. I'm not claiming to be anything special. I'm just like everybody else. I just paid attention to the mistakes and the lessons I learned. But there's a similarity in the story between Jesus and I. My life has similar rings to several of the different biblical stories. And I know many others are like that as well. Well, I've been put through the ringer, so to say, went through the dark night of the soul and had to reevaluate everything.
Was that ayahuasca? Because that shit gave me an ego death that just was unreal, dude. Like for a whole 45 minutes there, I wasn't a thing. And I can't explain that. You're going to have to work with that on yourselves. Maybe talk to a therapist. They might be able to help you.
I understand what you're saying, but I've never done that. Mine was just a wake-up call from reality. My life changed, and so then I had to change the way I saw things, and I'm grateful it all happened. Because I used to live subconsciously in the American.
I'm sorry, that's a little too creepy. I can't do the double jack Talcott. I'm sorry. That's just way creepy. That's way creepier than I thought it was gonna be, bro. It's not my fault. Don't judge me.
There is a limit to the amount of jack that can be found.
We're gonna put this beautiful man up here for a minute while we finish. That's Resla, by the way. He was my last guest.
Oh, okay. Missed that.
It happens, man. I don't expect everybody to show up everywhere, and I really don't care what other people do. So, you know, we can go back to this one. That makes more sense. All right. Okay, let's say I ask this question to everybody that comes on the show, and I get a whole bunch of different answers. But in your case, let's say tomorrow you woke up, like you went to bed tonight, you put up a little video. It was like, hey, I was on Sasquatch Shills. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. Whatever, you know, and you trip, fall down or whatever, and you upload it, and it gets you 1 million subscribers overnight. It goes viral. It does that thing. Your phone is dead while it's plugged up to the wall. Suddenly you're a worldwide phenomenon, and you're the Hawk Tua girl, but of, you know, motivational speaking or whatever. I'm not sure how to make this analogy, but you get where I'm going. Suddenly you're successful. There's no explanation for it. Obviously it's the will of God or something, but poof, it happens. What do you do at that point? We wake up the next morning, you turn on your phone, and it dies trying to bring in your messages, right? There's celebrities, there's fucking, you know how it went with the Hawk Tua girl. You've heard the story. It's overnight sensation, merch lines, people would wear your face around. What do we do? What's the first thing we do?
That's step one. That's step one for my goals.
Awesome. Okay, but what I'm saying, what do you do to capitalize on that fame? How do you make that work for you?
We use that connection to open up the next doors of communication in front of Congress and the UN. We get the masses involved.
Kamala Harris spent $1 billion trying to get elected by bringing in different celebrities and whatnot. And I'm finding it hard to believe that the Hawk Tua girl, even if it was of world peace, the viral sensation of world peace, because I think world peace is an admirable goal. Noble is a great, bro. I'm all for it. In fact, I'm all for people promoting the concept and working towards it, because somebody needs to be working on that in the wings, right? I'm more of a self-defense kind of person. I believe in, like maintaining yourself and your environment yourself. It's kind of my philosophy on things. So, like the whole thing between me and God is between me and God, and you're not really invited on that one. It's nothing personal. No one else was invited either. If you've ever seen Braveheart, the weird Irish guy who talks directly to God. That's kind of how I view myself.
Okay.
I have to talk to God to speak to an equal. That's the only way an Irishman can speak to an equal. It's a bad joke, I know.
That's what I've been learning how to do, though, is how to truly discern just from the facts, to trust, to receive the information from the opinions of others, but to truly let the facts guide me. And the facts have been leading my choices, both opportunities and limiting. But life doesn't actually have to be as painful and scary as a lot of people want it to be.
Okay, let's go down that hole. Let's go down that rabbit hole. You watch the news, you see the stuff that happens in the world. There's an awful lot of animosity that's held at bay by convention, and a whole bunch more animosity that's not held at bay at all. In my experience, a lot of people who find discontent were discontented when they got there, right? It's not the environment they're in that causes them this passion. It is themselves and the way they view that environment.
What I've learned, I mentioned earlier, we're living in an age of information, right? There's so much knowledge available. I've been able to sit through truly college level classes, professors giving lectures and teaching about mind and psychology, trauma. We live in a world of confusion, but the answers are all available for us here. I totally took us off from where the topic was, from where you were.
Well, okay. All right. So there's no way to really analogize having a million subscribers overnight. There's no way to plan for this. I mean, we all think about it in the back of our heads, but none of us ever actually sit down and go, okay, well, what I would do is this. I'm that one Sasquatch in 10,000. I'm that guy who's trying to figure out what the next step is before it happens to me, because I'm ignorant as shit. I'm going to say some viral stuff one day and somebody's going to clip it and it's going to be absolute solid gold. And I'm going to ride that one clip all the way to my little cabin in the mountains where nobody can bother me because I can see down in all directions. So I can look down on the earth evenly. Is that a bit much? I can never tell.
No, I was picturing it. The beauty of an isolated cabin on the top of a mountain. I get it. I want to help you achieve that. I want to help a lot of people achieve their dreams. And I know that we all have a better chance of achieving our dreams manyfold through education, through cooperation, and through actual willingness. And what I've been allowed to learn.
No, go ahead, bro. I was just looking at my chat and the beautiful work my mods are doing. I've been waiting for that to go down all night, and it finally fucking triggered. I have no idea what triggered it, but it's kind of like a collapsing freaking accordion over yonder. It's like, I don't know. I'll bring y'all back later. It'll be okay. It's just a little hurt, in the fifis a little bit. It won't bruise. Put some dirt on it. You'll be fine. What's up, Adam807? Good to see you, bud. As Varun, I like this guy. I want to get together with him and have a discussion about the plurality of worlds, right? because Hindu has some really, really similar concepts to the Norse mythologies. The concept of like the way the afterlife functions and how you get there, and a bunch of things about cyclic time and how things are meant to be, and yet you have free will, but they're going to happen the way the gods say, and yet you can choose to do whatever you want to, right? They have really weird ideas about free will, and I think it'd be really interesting to have that conversation. I get some weird Hindu AI stuff in the background. It's fucking awesome. Throw in some Vikings, right? Be a good show. So we got about 10 minutes left. The way I usually handle this part is if you can do a straight 10-minute spiel, I'll give it to you. It's all yours, right? So if you want to go for it, fireball it. I'm good with that. If you run out of breath at some point, just let me know and I'll step in and be slightly entertaining while you cough up a loogie or whatever. All right, roll it.
I friggin' love this. Life, brothers and sisters, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, supporting. Make sure and do the thumbs up for the Sasquatch Shills and share some support, whichever platform. But we are what the past has created. Each of us. See, my time here having conversations, it's been a joy because different perspectives broaden our minds, and those with broad minds often bring different perspectives. Caucasian Sasquatch appears to be a man similar to me, similar but obviously different, and maybe that's who we all are. We are all here, similar yet different. And when we can learn from the lessons of each other, being able to understand from those with broadened minds, those with different perspectives, the different perspectives that can be brought forth and shared between us, those ideas can transform lives. My life is an evidence of that, and I know of many other men and women whose lives were transformed. Maybe not immediately, but the choice to transform creates immediate and long-term consequences, results, the results of transformation. Once you find within yourself the clarity and the determination, the willingness to push out beyond what your old comfort zone and the old paradigms, what the familiar and the neighbors want to tell you you can do, this is the life I'm living. I never thought I would be trying to sell myself without cost, but sell myself nonetheless online, promoting the ideas of love, promoting the ideas of change. Man, I used to be so afraid of change. Change broke my heart. Change allows us to move forward. But I realize I'm kind of bouncing around here, aren't I? The idea.
I'm good with it, dude. If you get fed up trying to do this, let me know and I'll come in and do my Southern Baptist minister bit. It'll be great.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. The point is, we, all of us, diverse and entertaining and unique, all of us, even though we may be bruised and battled, carrying some wounds and defenses up from the past, even though we may be that way, when we can humble ourselves to be honest, be willing to trust, willing to really learn from another version of us. I learned this a long time ago. Learning is fun, especially if your heart is in it. You can see the value of learning. If you make that mindset your day and realize each day is an opportunity to learn more about you and the world you live in, when we're having fun, when we're paying attention, that's the best way to learn. And what I found for myself is the more I learned, the more I realized how little I knew, because there's more and more and more to be learned. And we don't have the time in our lives to learn everything on our own. We don't have the time in the day to do everything on our own. The world wants us to believe that we're all divided and we're in this on our own. It's partially true, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I trust the future of mankind includes all of us bringing our unique talents, our unique perspectives together so that we create a greater future for us all.
All right, so that's a bit that I do to people to see how they respond. And I threaten them with 10 minutes of dead air. And most people just freeze up, or some will even go in for the kill and try to do it, but have no follow-up for it whatsoever. Right? So if they even make the effort, they get a thumbs up in my freaking book. Bro, that's putting in the work. That's doing the thing on YouTube that we're all here to do. And if nothing else, it's entertaining. Whether anybody takes anything useful away from it or not, I don't even care. It's there. It's available to you. Probably available in a revival tent sometime soon. Because I mean, if you do the proper, I'm telling you, son, if you do the proper, if you do the proper revitalizing, I'm from Georgia. That's hard.
There is a revitalizing going on, though. I think we're reviving. We're awakening. We're
woke. I don't want to be woke.
You don't want to be asleep.
Well, I don't want to be woke because the whole woke thought process is cult. Bends your mind to think in certain ways. Because if you can't think freely, then how can you have unique ideas?
That's the thing. If you're not thinking freely, you're not woke. You're just pretending. And there's a lot of people pretending to be a lot of different things these days.
Sure. I was on a panel the other day about hidden motivations, and I really, really enjoyed it. Russell was hosting it, and if you can get across one of them, it's well worth at least sitting in and listening to it, if not participating, because that man thinks about things in layers, right? He plans out stuff that you would just leave to chance because you're a normal person. I really dig the way he puts things together, and I think he's got a real huge future on YouTube. I really do. You've managed to make a show. I'm proud of you. It was absolutely amazing. As far as everybody who got blocked in chat earlier, I'm going to go through and unblock people later. It'll be after the second part of the show. What's fixing to happen is I'm going to play my little outro bit. I'm going to end Jack's feed on this, and then I've got a video that I'm going to drop the link. Previous guests are welcome up here. I'm going to be a little bit tighter on that than usual. So that'll at least limit the trolls a little bit. So I'm trying, right? We do the best we can with what we got, and that's all we can do. So if you're on Jack's, you need to pop over to mine if you want to continue clowning on this whole situation. Feel free to laugh at me, laugh at Jack, laugh at whatever happens. From here on out, it's Sasquatch After Dark, and that's a little bit different. So, Jack, tell everybody you said bye.
Yeah. Folks over on my channel, I think swing over here. Did I understand that? Bye, everyone. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to drop you backstage for a moment, and we'll be right back with you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Sasquatch Shills. Remember, if you want to support the channel, you can donate to my, or maybe YouTube will give me some, just think happy thoughts, because I don't want your money. So I did this bit, and I played it at the very beginning, but I don't know if anybody saw it. And I'm thinking about putting this at the beginning of everything I do from now on. Give me a 1 in chat if you dig that shit. Also, our poll. Let's see what won. We've got peace on earth, worthwhile goal. Yes, 40%. 34% chose I am Optimus Prime. And the rest chose no, which was 25%. So a quarter of you are straight black pillars. Huh. Why? What did the world do to you, bro?
What are the humans doing?